We're live. Hi, I'm a few minutes late. It was a bit of a wibbly-wobbly journey to get here. Now, for your edification, not that I'm ever edifying, but I have actually gone to a different country for this. Who have we got on? Let's see, we'll start off. Who's here? Oh, Bob. Hi, Denise. Kat. Hi. Venora. I love that name, Venora Moon. So good. Teresa. Is that Dawn, of course. Hi, Dawn. Right, so actually, I don't want to talk too long, so let me know if any problems of vision or sound or anything. Now, what's happened is, now this is a quiet river in Scotland, and it feeds into the River Tweed, which you may have heard of. And they do, if you've got a license, they do trout fishing here, so it's very quiet and peaceful, and the fishermen are very quiet, you know. So while they've been sat, they have noticed what they report as being a colony of escaped feral cult members. And they do think they're Jehovah's Witnesses. The men were, well, the males were wearing suits, although they're very tattered now, of course. You can imagine, but they did have suits and a tie on. So could be J-dubs. They're thinking more, might be a few Mormons, because there are females there. And it's the males here. I don't know in America, it's the males who come and do the evangelical work. So they seem to have escaped. So I was a bit worried. I wanted to see if they had supplies and medicines and what we could do to help. So if you've got any ideas, that was going to be great. So let's give an idea of the surroundings. If you can hear the water there. Sometimes you get kingfishers, otters. There's a pair of swans over here, sand martins. In the day, I've even had badgers here. Oh, hello, Anthony. Is that everyone? So I don't be too loud, because I don't want to frighten off any potential cult members. But I mean, Stuart is showing us the urban early 21st century cult member in their habitat, and I thought it might be useful to see them. It is, isn't it? It's really lovely. I used to come here a lot, and I've not, and my little path I normally have wasn't here, so I've got quite stung with the nettles. What I've done is I've bought I thought I'd bought paper and pen, but to leave them a message. I mean, I don't know if they've still retained the ability to read and write. I just don't know, but I thought I'd leave them. I was going to leave them a message, but I don't know. Maybe I was bouncing down the road. Maybe I've lost them. I've littered the countryside somewhere. But I can keep an eye out there. Oh, Liam. Oh, right. Good place. Yeah, lovely and peaceful. But I say I am in Scotland. I'm in Scotland. Passed over from Northumberland to Scotland. Who's 45 years? What's that? What's Lisa replying? 45 years. Oh, my mother-in-law, Lisa, came to my door asking me to talk to her out of her religious beliefs. So I did. Goal. Wow, well done, Lisa Bug. That is really good. That is very good. Yeah, you can hear the birds. So yeah, I was saying I meant to leave, in case they'd retain the ability to read and write, I was going to leave a message saying anything I can bring you if you need. Change of underwear, clean tie, whatever is important to them. I didn't want to frighten them off, because I don't know if they're escaping the literature and things. So who we got? Oh, Dumfries. It's a lovely journey, Liam, from here to Dumfries. Get wibbly wobbly through all the border towns. You go through a wild mountainy bit, and that's the rest. So it's the bugs. I'm freaking out. So let me show you one of the trigger objects. I'm going to leave for them, and I'm hoping it will arouse the feral cult members to come forward, and we can make contact in the future. So look, I'll show you what. Let me show you what I've got. You can see this here. Can you see it's a door knocker? So I thought that, you know, if they knew that was around, they'd want to come and knock, and there'd be something in their sort of DNA, in their memory, especially if they're, you know, so many generations. And also you can see there's an angel, so they'll figure out that this is someone who needs to be rescued from Christendom, Babylon the Great, and maybe even some of the offshoots of theosophical movement. So it's got a mosquito bite. So I might just knock on this. Let me put this down. I'm going to probably hang this on. Let me see if this works. Hang on. I'm going to knock on this. I'm going to hold the phone dangling from my mouth. So technical. Hang on. I've got it on the right. It'll shut me up. Hang on. I can't hear any movement in the undergrowth. So I'm not sure, but they might hear it because it will have travelled. So I will leave it for them because I want something to leave for there. Queen is. Don't know Queen is. Is that a recent one, Liam? Liam, is that a recent place, Queen is? I'm not so fond of Annick. I think they're a bit snobby there. I don't like, the Barter Birches, that is the biggest bookshop in the UK. And if any of you have seen all these things, this keep calm, keep calm and knock on the door, keep calm and get baptised, that came from a poster that they found in that bookshop. So they're to blame. Oh, last time you came. Well, I haven't got a duck costume paid. If you're here again, Liam, you'll have to let me know. Of course, Annick Gardens are very nice. Opened by the Queen, So maybe I'll risk. Oh, sting! Oh, mustn't swear. Oh, now this is going to be very ungainly. So, oh, gosh, that was hard work. So let's put the sun in there. So this river is lovely, and it runs very clear. You get trout, fish jumping out the stream. There's a couple of old abandoned cottages at the moment. The woman who owns them is supposed to be doing them up. But don't fall in. Well, I'm nearly alive, King of Faders. Nearly alive. Hello, Brooklyn. Oh, that would be funny if I fell in, though. It would be funny. I did actually bring some clothes in case I have a bathe. Now, you see, the river's very accessible. There's a ford, if you can see, going sort of across. And rumour has it that there is enough residual memory there that the feral cult members, they do come down and reenact their baptisms, because from what anthropologists say anyway, the experts on this, they say that they're recreating the best time when they were a cult member, because they were so love bombed up to the point where they got baptized, and then there was that afterglow, and then it all just became mundane, and you just got to do it. So yeah, it could be that they're coming down and reenacting that moment of baptism. So who knows? But at least if they're going in, they're keeping clean. Woman of the Nang, she's cart crashing. Is it every Thursday that they're there? Is that when they're down? It was so funny, that last one. They just kind of, I don't know if they were upwind, I'm not saying you smell, but if they've got this sort of nose thing, and it was like if you were just a blob in the distance, that was it. They just scuttled, didn't they? They were talking to someone, and it was suddenly rude, pack up and leaving. Stacey and Spoon. Well, that's it. Yeah, 8 hours behind at the most, and then we've got our Antipodean members. Kip. Yeah. You don't do those live, do you? Because I've just caught them afterwards. No, yeah, Liam, his brother. I don't know if you've seen. I was going to do another video of because there's just so many new channels to see. What's your brother's channel called again, Liam? Just put it down there. If you put it down for people to see, he's northeast, and he's talking to the early 21st century English northeast. So it's in the other country. Cult members, and he's very kind. He is really kind and speaks, just speaks to help. Keith McAllister. It's because you got different names, it confuses me. So there you go, and Keith McAllister. I say I'm going to do another video on new channels. Now, do you remember the Philadelphia Inquirer, the latest report of Chesa Mannion? I did a thing on it. I think Nigel Rowley did, and Mike and Kim. Now she's got a new YouTube channel, and that's CHESSA, and I think she's just Chesa M. But I'll put the thing. Well, it is Theo. Yeah, it is. Oh, he's ex. That was it. Yeah, he said he was 15 years ex-missionary. And he's a very kind person. He just comes over as a really kind person. Oh, hi, Goatbone. Now, you're playing on your guitar. Maybe some guitar. If you played a Kingdom Melody on your guitar, that would lure them out. Yeah, Goatbone and those that just joined, we are trying to find... There it seems to be a pod of escaped cult members living feral. I've actually been looking for any droppings, any of the scat. But I've not seen it. It's so overgrown, so there's no sign that way. I mean, they'll be scared off now because I'm stood up and talking, so they will be. Can't even not use their own training against them. Well, that's another thing which other people have noted. Not for us women, because obviously our brains are too small, but the men were trained in public speaking, communication. And they've been using that for their videos. I mean, it's like, duh! They gave them the skills to run wild and run free, and help when they realise the real stuff. So there's the river. Ooh, is that a bit of sound? Oh, some noise there. So there are otters. Otters are cute. Otters are cute. So we're getting, what are we now? We're coming up to 8 at night. And here it's all sticky because they're saying in, the UK is in a heat wave. So here it's really sticky. We've got the it's dandelion clocks. I thought it was the midges because Scotland's very famous for its midges coming after it. What was I saying? Oh no, but there's like a chill in the air. But I come down here at night when it's dark and hot, and there's been steam rising off the water, and you get in and it's like a hot bath. And so I've not set it up this year. I don't have everything, and I know where the right stones are. And on a hot day, this is terrible. I've sat in the water like a bath, and it runs by you, with a glass of something and a book. It's a hard life, isn't it? It's a hard life. So, Liam, the Geordies are pretty open. Oh, yeah. Well, there's a good vibe, You've got Geordies are good. Glaswegians are good. I was up protesting on something else in Glasgow on my own. And they were brilliant. Everyone's going by honking horns and shouting, and little old ladies coming, you tell them I hate them. Because they had this big corporation was polluting here, actually, where I live. So, yeah. Now, you see, I must upload it, but I've been too chicken to look. I must upload my really bad car crash from whenever it was now, 3-4 weeks in. And that was Durham, northeast, but they weren't nice. Oh, Sarah's off to work. Hi-ho, hi-ho. I'm really scaring if I start singing. It's off to work. You go down the diamond mines, is it? All right, so enjoy the boat. You've got to wave your hand there. We've got 27 of you on. You're as mad as me, aren't you? Oh, dead sheep upstream. No, that's after flooding, apparently. People have seen the... sadly, I couldn't... I couldn't cope with seeing animals kind of float by, but you do see it. So this feeds into the Tweed. Tweed is usually the divider, the natural divider between all Scotland and England, and it's very famous for salmon fishing. Very, very nice. Oh, we're 32. Hello. I'm just wondering what this mad woman's doing in the middle of all this greenery. I was trying to find this pod of, well, legend has it, the fishermen say they've seen it, of escaped cult members. And I would like to know if there are Mormons and some other people amongst them, because then it would demonstrate that people can live together. Do you see what I mean? They can cooperate. I mean, maybe they fight, maybe they do raids on each other's camps. I don't know. I ended up ill when I bathed. Well, I've never... So you've only bathed once in your life, have you, Liam? No, Lisa Bug, that comedian, you know, I like this idea of God has this huge, at the end of everything, which will come even if it's when the sun dies or whatever, has this huge credits, you know, at the end of a film. And, you know, so really, you know, so we have like arsehole dictator Hitler and everything. We'll get our credits and things, you know. See, Denise will have really kindly lady who helps everyone. That will be hers. I'll just embarrass her there. And what's a Dobie itch? If I miss something. My credit will be unintentional comedian, because it was more serious I tried to be, the sillier. So I guess what's a Dobie itch? That must be some local talk. Weird tale. God, we're getting the family histories. I've bathed everywhere, man. So, any ideas of what would call out, what you think would get them comfortable to approach me? I mean, I've got a bottle of water, which was for me, but I mean, it's nice, clean spring water. So maybe if I... Is there any sort of comforting sentences if I called out, do you think? Anyone got any ideas? Can you let me know? Anything? Hi, G-Money. Haven't seen you for a while. Nice to see you. G-Money's funny. G-Money's going to be... How long till G-Money gets rude? It's groin rot. You've had a cheesesteak. Would that work? I mean, should I get a Starbucks or something next? We don't have a Starbucks here, so that's not going to work. So, but is there anything I could call out, do you think? What? Well, as I say, sometimes we get badgers here if they're disturbed in the day. So I'll see how rough a badger's bum is for you. How's that? You know, any ideas of what I could say to maybe give a siren call to lure them? We have more money going out than coming in. I wonder if that's set off any memory cells. No movement. Look, no movement in the undergrass. That's a shame. I mean, what? I've been so long out of it. I can't remember what. I mean, what would they say now? You know, you're putting in all your hours. What would be the call from the platform? Oh, it's the circuit overseer's trip next week. It's his visit, and I'm sure we all want to take advantage of such a spiritual banquet. There will be extra field service. No. You see, I don't know if that's going to frighten them off. I don't know. Yeah, Lisa, that's what I'm wondering. God definitely has a sense of humour, otherwise I wouldn't look like this. And have you seen some of the animals? I mean, some animals are so funny. I mean, they had a real good laugh making those, I have to say. Frozen solid orange juice. Well, oh, Hoodie, yeah. Hoodie. So that's another place where people are friendly. Actually, because Hoodie's in Liverpool. That's why you might have heard of a few Beatles-sounding things where you... yeah, sense of humour. You better have, because if not, I'm in trouble. Hey, there's a deadly weapon now. Yeah. I'm just hoping that with I left a message like with the rules of noise pollution. It's the council usually deal with that. Doesn't kind of want too much of that, but I thought if he turned it into performance arts, he could actually make more of a noise for longer, plus relay something to the passers-by. That's what I thought. But there you are. So you've got this big, I don't know what you call it, it's like big rhubarby stuff on the other side. It's quite a way away. But if I went in there, that would be taller than me. So I'm not going in. I would really. Well, you know, that's another thing. There's a bit of social history here for the any Brits and also any Anglophiles. But yeah, let me tell you, nearly captured. Hiya. I was a few minutes late. It was dodgy, wobbly, wobbly, I think. But platypus, exactly. Yeah. I was just trying to think of some silly rhymes about animals, but shut up, how silly they are. I've forgotten what the heck was I saying? The end is near. That was it. Duh. There is like a Scottish manor house thing. I think they call it like a manse. And I've never been up to it. It's occupied at the minute, but they're a bit snotty. And there's a gatekeeper's lodge in a little cottage, which is lovely. Now, that was owned for the Brits and Anglophiles. Do you remember is it Robinson's or Robertson's jam? And when we were kids, you're not going to believe, oh yeah, Pet Tiger. Used to get, I'm afraid, because it was one of the first things where we went, we've got to look at racism things properly, because you could collect little gollywogs out the jars. Yes, and then send off for a gollywog badge. This is when I was growing up, and then people did, maybe Russell, gave them the marketing idea. I don't know if you kept the gollywogs that you saved, they would turn white, of course, after a while, but it was, and then sort of society woke up a bit more and went, no! But anyway, there were 3 heiresses to this Robinson's or Robertson's. I think it's Robertson's. I mean, everyone used to have Robertson's jam and Robertson's marmalade. Every house would have them. Now, they were the heiresses. 3 sisters never got married. And they lived in that manse very quietly. And I've known people who worked for them. And every evening they'd have a tipple of scotch, proper whiskey, the Scotch whiskey. And they'd give her a tipple. So have a tipple with us. And the woman didn't like it. So they'd put it in a bottle, pour it back in a bottle, and then she'd give it to a friend because he liked his whiskey. But the thing was, I thought it might have attracted them, because if they're waiting for Armageddon, that house, that mansion, can you see, it would be really attractive. Got it? And also because there's really not much population, so you wouldn't get the rotting body smell. You wouldn't really get stuck with all the bone thing, So it sounds to me like, yeah. Hoodie is onto something with his PA. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got a Busker, I thought, but now, I mean, you can get, I'm thinking like, Bluetooth, little portable speakers you get easy with battery life. I mean, easy, isn't it? I know I've not been on the gym. got some family stuff next week, so I'm saving myself, quite honestly. No, I've not been on the gym. Don't remind me. My mum's adopted. Oh, Robertson. It is a common name, of course, but yeah, it's a Scottish name. Yeah, but if you're one of the heirs, that would be good. That with the gin's on you, kid. That's it. Bunker down. Right. So I forgot to announce the pet. Half duck, half beef. I had to think back in my mind. Oh yeah, platypus. That was got a bit dodgy. So yeah, pet tiger. Does anyone want a pet tiger? How about a cuddly panda? Would anyone like a panda? I'm just pandering to them there. Oh, goat bone. Oh, it's good. I'm not near anything because if I throw up now. Uh, an elder saying the new housing developments were building them for you. Oh, oh, that's horrible. That is really bad. I mean, we got, because where I was living then, there were some people that were better off than the J-dubs, you know. And it was always hard to witness to them, you know what I mean? We'd have to get past the dogs, you know, and up the gravel drive, crunch, 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 you know. And they'd sort of say no, and we'd go back again, dogs, crunch, crunch, crunch. And the answer, the J-dubs would always say, they've got their paradise here. Sorry, I made you sick. But you, oh, hello, poo platter. That's a good name. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys ever got that in the richer bits. And I meant to do a video on that next. There's one of the convention videos where this woman is sorry, I shouldn't laugh. This woman is traumatized. It's an English woman, and she's traumatized for 10 years because a dog on a chain, a tied up dog, which she knew was there when she walked up to the front door, woofed at her. And the elders sit and they don't go, you know, you've got PTSD, you go to the doctor, you can get, you know, CBT or different things, you know. One-off event like that is easier to treat. Not that. Pray more, pray more. Oh, you're so brave, sister. They're mad. They're mad. I'd love a pet tiger if you didn't have to deal with it. Oh dear. Hardfoot. Now that's another one. That's another animal of, just the spelling is brilliant anyway. And it's always great because they have that name so that they're always first in the phone book. So I think that's quite credible. Pet tiger, yeah. There's some great videos where you got tigers having their tummies thing, and they're purring and rolling just like your domestic cats, which makes sense. So I don't know, I would walk around, but my legs ain't so good. So you probably get step, and then you get a thump. A thump down. So yeah, I could take you on a whole thing. I was wondering if you would find it interesting later. Once I've got up there, the bumpy, because there's a whole bumpy bit, it's just this private neglected road up here. I could show you the Scottish-English border. You might find it exciting. We have like a Berlin, you know, if you remember the old Berlin Wall, we have that up, and there's searchlights. You do have to have your passport ready, and there are dogs and things. So you might find that interesting, and I can show you where. A peccary. Now, Gregory Peccary, that was what's his face, wasn't it? Your mad guy did a song. Who did a song about Gregory Peccary? Oh, come on. Frank Zappa, I'm sure he did that. A JW told his own daughter when we were out in service, as kids did it. What? What? Can you see this, everyone? If she was afraid of getting raped by going into an apartment building, she didn't have enough faith. Oh, do you know? Oh, I'm going to be sick again. It's every blooming day you hear some insanity. But you can officially, according to the Elders book, if you put yourself in a position, dangerous position, that could get you raped, you can get disfellowshipped for that because you put yourself in that position. Got to put my legs a bit. You're back in right. You're not off too well. Well, we'll look out for your video tomorrow. Woman of the Nang. You go there, keep safe. They did the wrong thing, didn't they, with you? I think. Now, Hadrian's Wall, and it's really far south. People imagine that being the Scottish-English border. That's way down in Newcastle land. You're talking 60 miles from here. You slip. Who did you? Welsh Simon. He says, a lot of you been everywhere. I thought you've seen bits of it. Again, you've got to have good leggies to get around. That coming from men who are building bunkers. Hello, joy to you and me. Yeah, JWs are nuts. Yeah, they profess love. Now, were we all that bad? Were we, in honesty, I'm going to sit down a bit now. In honesty, oh, now I've got a nestle up my bum, hang on. Oh, oh, oh dear. Now then, in honesty, were we that bad as well? What do you think? You know, we didn't know. Campaign. No, I got some paint. They had some sales in Asda, paint sales. Get some. I need some to paint my walls, so nearly captured a little. I'm gonna have first Bagsy. So you think yes, and probably. Oh, hello, Wake and Shake. We have interesting things about the Wake and Shake name. Stephen Rose, hello. He's another northeasterner. We're getting trained for that treatment of outsiders. Yeah. We're getting a lot of northeasterners now. I didn't really know of anyone. I guess you're around, and then Mark came. He's a bit further south with Hull, and no way did we ever think that way. I'm certain my dad would never have said that. Well, certain specific things, I'm sure. But I was reminded yesterday of this really lovely lass who I studied with. She was very sincere, very, very nice. She was a proper person. And the things that she would worry people wouldn't get through Armageddon for. And I was just thinking, I thought, that's insane. Like, we had one family, and although they tried not to, they had kids pretty quickly, and they struggled financially. So he hadn't got a TV license. And you're probably aware in the UK, you're supposed to have this BBC TV license. You can go to prison. It's absurd if you don't have one. You could then, and so she would worry that he hadn't, because he couldn't afford one, and she would worry. She said, if he doesn't have one, he won't get through Armageddon. Can you imagine? I mean, that is, can you imagine dying because you didn't have a bit of BBC paper? Whitley Bay, lovely, very nice. Wake and Shake. I'm just over in Scotland, and this is a river, a trout fishing river, if you have a license, that runs into the Tweed. So the part of growth recognising it, and also, I mean, if you were brought up in it, what damn chance did you have? You know, and do you? Oh, I've decided card. Dawn's a hedgehog. And do you think some people are saying that they think that those that are going to wake up because there's enough information have pretty much woken up? Do you think that's true? I don't know, because you always have to hold out for hope, and people evolve at different times that's right for them. So I think they're adorbs too early, too nearly. What? I follow from the river. Oh, blackadder. No, well, this is the, well, pronounced wit adder. This is actually the white adder, but no, not I don't know how many miles it is to the Blackadder from here. Either as the crow flies. I mean, it's not far. You can take one of the country roads, takes you there. We never thought my mother. So is she free now, Lisa? Like, is that it? Is she going to get disassociated? What do you call it? You know, thingamid, retracting her membership. Some will be snatched out at the last second. Because we, you know, even if you have no belief now, the old belief system was that, well, as far as I knew, you know, people could change or evolve, whatever things we get in its change. But I see it's people evolve, and we have the right to do that in whatever direction. But it seems like almost like the JWs have given up. Do you think it's like they've given up on that expectation for people to evolve? And I guess they're just not getting the same responses as they used to. Or if they get a warm response and they tell a relative, they're going to go, no, look what I found on the net, you know. Oh, I can guess what a fish weighs just by looking at it. Wow. Well, this is good trout fishing if you have the license. A lot of friends do fishing around here, and they got fed up with fish, so they're bringing me. Oh, it's lovely. And some people have their own smoking little things that they take to the river with them, and then they smoke the fish fresh that they've caught. Yeah, Dawn Elizabeth was saying the acupuncture. I have a cunning plan. Yeah, I couldn't believe when I found there was a real black adder. It's called adders, the white adder and the black adder. And you're going past and there's the, you know, Blackadder village store and going, what? She's decided not to go back again. Wow. Well, you know, they're going to come after her, but if she's ready, wow, good for her. That is brilliant. I'm so pleased for you. I mean, I'm pleased for your hubby that it means now, you know, mum will be there. I hope more wake up. Yeah, younger ones, but they're suffering as they wake up. You know, you see them on Reddit and you see them on our, you know, comments things. And I know Denise speaks directly, helping some because she's so good at that. They're having to like grip the truth until they're old enough. And, you know, I worry about them because, okay, they'll at a certain age, they can, they're emancipated or whatever, but it's just so wrong. And I know it's happened to some of you, that to be out there without family and backup, it's not right. It's so wrong. If I could just change it, oh, anything, it'd be this damn shunning. Now they don't want her anymore. She infected her. Yeah, they are waking up. I rescued a bumblebee's day. Now we have special, maybe you other northeastern guys can say what they are, but we have special bumblebees here, and they're huge, like this local thing, but they're in trouble here. I mean, I have my garden pretty wild, so maybe the feral JWs are living there. I don't know. I have to check out the little summer house at the end, but so they have got space, and they've got space here to live, but they're really suffering. We've got a lovely honey farm place, and they were having to buy in honey that bad because they make their own products from it. I'm barely surviving. I'm in my 60s. I say I don't think I just don't think in the Western world, I mean, a world where so many wrongs happen, but in sort of first world societies, I don't think there's any group that goes through such a hard time as escaping Jehovah's Witnesses. And of course that could be extended, I don't know personally the stories, to other cult members. I just, seriously, the strength that you need, and you shouldn't need it. And to think before the net, some of us know what it was like before the net. I was way out before the net. And you were kept isolated. You were really, and I think we were supposed to have a sense of shame, you know, and not speak. Who was it? Maybe it was Stuart or someone. Someone was out, you know, on witnessing, and the mature brother, he stood there and he said to the ex-witness, "You know you're not allowed to talk to me." Think about it. They still thought they had that authority. You're not allowed to talk to me. And they pointed out, no, you're the one who's not allowed to talk to me. I can talk to whomever I please. Cheeky. Yeah, Spanish City is not what it was. You're right. Yeah, Lisa, I'm not subscribed to your channel. Sorry. Yeah, I must go on, especially if we're going to get all the stories. I know I'd seen you you're writing comments about her before. She just turned 70. Well, thank goodness she's got you. Thank goodness she's got you. It's horrible. Yeah, Venora, the bees are dying here. Monsanto, absolutely evil poos. One of the big worldwide bee experts who goes around the world talking about all this that's happening. He's a lovely guy, lives here. And a lot of the others have been intimidated into stopping because they do get death threats. Yeah. Big pharma and agrochemical companies. 26. I spent your childhood there. Yeah, I'm gonna look at Lisa Bug. Run along the beach to Tynemouth. Yeah, that's right. Scarlet letter, A for apostate. Who looks like me? I've got camouflage on. Well, Tunnel of Love, I love that song. Oh, I used to. I must put it on there. I used to love that song. Love that song in the early days of CDs. Oh, girl, you look so pretty to me. I know, David Attenborough. But he has to have his whole film crew and makeup, you know. I mean, he's nearly as demanding as Anthony Morris, you know. So colour coats to Whitley Bay refused. Well, exactly. Peas and carrots. It is a silly name, so I kind of tend to use it in little, you know, quotes. See, I didn't know. I worked up in this. You can tell I'm a southerner, but I worked up in this area in my teens, in the 80s, and I loved it. So I came back for a holiday, and I just moved here. What does Jehovah look like? Well, it looks like, you see all the greenery. Now, if I turn the camera around, you wouldn't see me because it is so good. That used to make me cry, in that one. Oh, I thought it was a spider. You know, it's a spider that just being hysterical, screaming woman. Oh dear. Yeah, that song. Oh, no, hang on. What's the Tunnel of Love? That whole Romeo and Juliet. That's the one on the same album. Oh, great chippy colour codes. Recent garden. Oh dear, we had a big bite. I'm the same. You must get the Dire Straits things, haven't you, made? Oh, now Liam, this is mad because I lived in Hertfordshire before I came here, and I just came up the A1 because I live just off, like, in the countryside. But you go off the A1, and the joke was I just came up one road. So so you're in Hearts. I was just down there the other week, and there's someone else who's got a channel. I can't remember where I was down the Dire Straits. Georgie birds. Well, they don't wear much, no matter what the weather. Do you think they're gorgeous? It's a bit overdone. I kind of favour the drag queen look a little bit now. Maybe it's a bit different, but no matter what the weather, they're just mini skirts, and they do look gorgeous when they're throwing up in the gutter. No, I'm making too many generalisations actually. Tring's posh. My ex went and bought a nice little cottage, very expensive though, in Tring. 3 Bs. Is 3 Bs? Is that like in a rude word? Judicial. I don't know. Oh yeah, I can't remember that. Oh, Hemel Hempstead. Look a bit modern in the bits there. Someday. Yeah, it's great. Very different vibe. It's interesting. You go on the train up from London. You get like from King's Cross, will take you up here. And as the train moves up, everything just gets more relaxed. It is really true because people, they do get wind up in the city, and the accents of course change. You go through Yorkshire, you go to York and different places, and I look terrible in a miniskirt. I used to wear them years ago, and bastards. Yep. 296 miles. That's civilized, isn't it? Is it? You know. Oh, thank you for saying it, Silver Aunt Wren. I should have got binoculars. I should. Lovely bit on the front at Whitley. I'm a bloke. Oh, sorry about this, Sky. Some people, though, I mean, I know people get self-conscious, but you know, people that just go, hey, there it is, loud and proud. But yeah, I can get self-conscious. I did beach running to them. Oh, showing off, showing you and your posh legs showing off. 10 minutes. Oh, do you from the Aspinalls? Wow, they're really going into. Well, I guess as the J-Dubs would say, the meat of stuff. Yeah, oh, you have Sunday. Well, you say hello to them. I've written. I thought they were so cute the first time I saw them because they would do their black and white things, and I just thought they just looked so cute together. And he said, I've never been called cute before. So I'm so pleased that you're near them. They seem they're sort of surrounded by all the books. You know, they know what they're talking about. They're great. Yeah. Officials. So, is there anyone here? I don't think, woman in the name probably was. I don't think we're gonna. Anyone here who's going to the London convention thing? Oh, parents. I used to have a rah-rah skirts in the 80s, which I see are back now. I did have good legs then, but I just wibbly wobbly now, hot pants. I have to hide. Why? How much got to hide your Geordie accent? Or did you see that old Harry Enfield series? Well, not that old, one of the later ones. And they had a pet Geordie. And like when the posh people in sort of Notting Hill or everywhere having dinner parties, they'd bring the pet Geordie in to go away, you know, and do the very bad. Going to the Excel. Now, who is it? Now, look up. Can you guys look out? That's something I meant to put on. My Mango Bango. Her channel, she's going to a convention this weekend. She's quite low, and I don't know if she's going to be on her own. So I don't know. She's Pennsylvania way, but have a look. Go-Go Boots. That was before my time. They were always very plasticky, though, weren't they? Mega. Oh, you're going, so Liam's going. That's great. Maxes are all sort of been in again for years. I remember the revolutionary aspect in the 70s when I remember my mum sort of getting one at some point in the early 70s, and it was quite radical for her. Yeah, so yeah, Goatman's gonna say hello from a lot of us, I think. Oh, no time due to medical, no funds. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, why, Ayman? 59. Yeah, you couldn't when the. No, you couldn't. You'd be showing your bees knees. Go-Go Boots. Yeah. Is it? Mark not offering Jimmy now. A lot of the northeasterners, they do work on projects. Just let her own hop. No, you wouldn't be. I was a kid and I did have a pair. My mum used to sew from home for a company, and then she saved up the scraps of paper. She's making hot pants from home, and she saved up the scraps. Oh, we were so poor! And she saved up the scraps of material and then made me some little mini hot pants, and I did a little mini frilly skirt. It's terrible, isn't it? But we weren't J-dubs, you know. 812 miles. Now that is a bit further. That is a bit further. It's more of a train. And I see is it the Cornwall Convention's on? Is it this weekend, I think? I did go there one year because a lot of us like this study thing, and they had a big extended family. So we all kind of crashed in to some big cottage. You know, we rented a cottage. So it was like a holiday as well. And we went to the Cornwall Convention. But otherwise, we were always Twickenham, Twickers. It was always known as. Yeah, I want to go to Beth when I grew up. Surprised the hell out of him one day. I just want to be a... Oh, you didn't. You got to beat it. Sorry. Lisa, just... Oh, I'm sorry about that. You know, half of my family was like Catholic, and we had a great aunt who was a nun. So we went to visit her in the nunnery. It was all really sedate, you know. It's very quiet. And I was little at the time. And so all the nuns were coming in and out. A lot of them were Irish. And you're going to be a nun when you grow up, you see. That was a really bad accent. And I wasn't one for standing my ground. I was very pliable and complacent when I was a kid for survival. And I kept saying to her, no, I'm going to be a singer, which was pretty much tantamount to saying, I'm going to be a harlot. And this went on apparently the whole afternoon. Are you going to be a nun? You know, like show you around. No, I'm going to be a singer. And I remember they cut the crusts off the sandwiches, and the crusts are my favourite bit on bread. And I thought I could never live anywhere where you can't have crusts. I'm sorry. Knitted jumper and skirt. Oh, the mum's homemade knitted jumpers. I used to hate them. Did any of you have the school knickers? UK used to have these thick knickers, and they never wore out. And they would just like stretch with you. And it wasn't as if you'd outgrown and go, Mum, can I just have some normal knickers? You'd have these. And they would tether in your nether bits, you know. And I am convinced that they've gone into landfill, and when in the future when archaeologists are digging through, obviously they'll have to dig through the Armageddon bones, but if they're digging through the landfill, they're going to find still complete and intact these school knickers. What's that? Mitzi and Mina? No. I don't know who that was. Oh, I don't want to randomise something. Whitley's Place Heart. No, not heard of them. Hinge and Bracket. A great aunt of mine used to think she would not believe that Hinge and Bracket weren't women. I'm serious. She thought we were winding her up. Mitzi. No. Yeah, we're all going to put dire straits on. Well, hot pants. You see, maybe if a bloke was wearing them, he might be quite happy. He might be. Yeah, it's a bit awkward because on one hand I don't want to kind of deride someone's parent. On the other hand, I do want to go and slap him. I'm sorry, because it's nah. Oh, music uniforms. Oh, what's a music uniform? What's the difference? Yeah, do you know, I have trauma treatment. I'm going to have things to talk about because a lot of us, I had similar upbringing, although it wasn't J-dubs, which is why I can empathise, but I wasn't exactly the same. But I see PTSD, which is, you've got PTSD, then you've got the complex PTSD, which is, because there's more events. I just was having a really good treatment today as a trauma unit. And I am, because I'm so programmed now, so I get upset with the kids not being protected in Watchtown. I'm programmed for kids being hurt. You got to get through me first. So anyone, that's it. I was going through a lot of that today. It was like, you don't get past here, because and like, no one got disfellowship, did they, for beating the crap out of their kids? How can you not get disfellowship? If you did that to an adult, well, people, they did this with wives and that. But if you went out in the street and you beat the crap out of an adult, like you beat the crap out of your kids and your wife, you go to prison. So what is the damn difference? Oh, it's good to swim pool. I remember that. Yeah, the swimming pool problem. What the heck are you gonna wear? Yeah. Multicolored knitted toe socks. Oh no. Oh, go. But I was speaking to a guy here, and he was in the border here, and his mum made him go to school in a kilt. And although he was in Scotland, no one else went in a kilt, and he suffered. He's just, it's getting worse. We're going to get into that Monty Python thing. We were so poor we had to live in a shoebox now. But things that I've got a brother 2 years younger than me, you see. So my clothes to be passed to him, and he wasn't going to wear girls' clothes. So we used to have these like unisex clothes, like the parka and trousers and jumpers that a boy or a girl could wear. And I was a girly girl. Wanted me bows and me girlish. Had these horrible lace-up shoes so that he could have them afterwards. Of course, he wasn't happy because he'd get my cast-offs. Parents should think about what kids just want to fit in. Different kids. Stephen, that's a good one. Do you see that? The overslapping generation. Wow. You top of the class for that one, kid. That is good. Massive swimming shorts. I never got that far diving. I was the only one left because I nearly drowned when I had issues about, nearly drowning when I was a kid. My granddad did drown, and then there was all this other stuff. So I was the only one left in the school who couldn't swim. They put me in the deep bit, and we didn't know then I had muscle problems, so my muscles weren't really strong enough, no matter how much exercise, to get me swimming. And you know what the cow did, the swimming instructor? It was a great big pool, so they put me about 8 feet. She whacked with the stick, her big hook stick, if people drowning, she'd like hook them out, seriously. She whacked my hands until I let go. And all my mates were great, they were all cheering. Everyone was watching our first. So I got a few yards, and then I started sinking because my muscles ran out. Well, yeah, you did have to miss you got to miss assembly. We had one girl, and do you know what? The teachers themselves picked on her. It was difficult for her. She kept to herself. I mean, I think I'd be about 7, 8 when we shared a class briefly. She wasn't there for the whole year. I did see the teachers pick on her and try and wind her up. So it wasn't just the kids being nasty. I went to assembly sometimes just to think of, and of course you didn't go to any school clubs, I guess. Was that already a big no-no that you didn't, get rid of your violin, Sergei and the rest? It is overslapping generation. The height of fashion, yellow undies and skid marks. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm going to be snorting now. I'm sorry. I don't mind, but they won't. I hope they weren't urine yellow. I'm sorry. Oh dear. Would a sister lift you some by the ear? Oh, not one else said, yeah. And And again, this nice sister who studied with, now she did have a kid. She actually worked with children as well, so she's qualified as this whatever you do, you look out. She was very good, and her son, whatever was happening with him, there was something more than normal. There was something going on with him, and he would be very misbehaved. And she had the patience of anything, and she wouldn't hit him. She had boundaries. She was really good, but she wouldn't hit him. And you know how many? I remember that was on this Cornwall trip. How many J-dubs came over and say, "It's a waste of time talking to them. You've got to hit them." Yeah. In a convention, big spiritual stuff going on. No, you're wasting your time talking to them. Ha 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 ha. You got to hit them. Arseholes. Yeah. See, PTSD. It's a bugger. Slap JWs. Ah. Did they think? You see, they sold you into it, but they didn't know, though, did they? They really didn't know, and they thought that if they didn't put you into it, well, some parents, others perhaps would want the prestige of you being into it, especially if they're elders, but so many think if you're not in it, you're going to die. You know the crap. Oh, yeah. Oh, you love it? Oh, that's great now that you've got to love that. I mean, I will go in I go in this river here. Only, I was sitting in it, not in the deep bit. Spoon race. Oh, God. School sports, because I was so bad. I was always the last to be picked for the teams. Do you remember that? They would say, you'd have 2 teams, and then also however many, 4 teams at some running thing. And it'd always be me left, and the rest of the team would go, oh, because they knew they were going to lose. My father did, oh, no. Yeah, because as well as, you got the other crap going on. Yeah. On the northwest, yeah, who's over that way? Yeah. It's just shit, isn't it? Sorry. Let me lay this out for you. It's just shit. It's just shit. I'm sorry. I hate that what you guys went through, and I say the respect for you breaking away and the difficulties. Just, man, you're amazing. All right. Well, you got to play rugby. That is brilliant. So are you big? Mind you, if you're small, you can be fast, can't you? If you like the... Look, great. Wow. I'm rolling around inside the I'm waiting for a pterodactyl to come and eat me. I've been left here for lunch. We have to appease the great river dragon. So they couldn't find any sort of young virgins in the area. So they just got some old Tuffy me. My necklace. No, yeah, we seem to. I seem to have given up now on luring. I shall leave the door knocker of enticement out for them, so that if they want to come along and recreate those days. I suppose you could say, if this is Jurassic Park, these are my salad days. Giant bogweed. Yeah, you'll damn escape. And then someone like Lisa, her mother-in-law's come out, thank God. Or thank whoever. Thank Jehovah. For Leviathan. Stephanie Bull. Oh, yeah. Wow. I suppose it's one of those things with an individual, isn't it? I'm surprised at how much rules and that can vary from congregation to congregation and strictness. Now, the one that I was in, apparently I was told, just as I was about to get booted, was it was a very hard congregation to stay in the truth in. But you know why? Because actually we had a bunch of elders who were softies. They were nice. As far as I knew, they were nice. One who was a bit sort of, but they were like little sweeties. And so what they did was they sent this other guy who was kind of like the, let's go in and change. They sent him and his family in the area, which was, don't they love us a lot to come, and they've, uprooted their children. Great for the children, not. They uprooted the children to come and live because the congregation's in trouble. And he was like Mr. Strict. He was, oh my goodness, Sergeant Major. So maybe that's why it was hard, just because they didn't rule you with an iron rod, Oh, a trolley canal. Oh, I've got lots in common with a shopping trolley. We both got wonky wheels. She's already saying what we used to call the truth. Yeah! Now, also, there was one lady who's been commenting on my channel, and some have, quite a few have replied. Thank you, those. And she was having a study. And she came across some other channel and went, oh, I'm having a study. Should I? I'm worried now, So everyone was just very honest. And then she was like, well, how do I stop it? She didn't want to be nasty, and she would have liked to give them some information. So people, offered some options of different things. And then I think it was yesterday or the day before, she said she had told her study ladies, that was it. There was this existed and that existed. And of course, the women went out. As far as they're concerned, they're not going to speak to her again. They said, but if you want to come back to the truth and all this, come. They said, we'll study with you again. But isn't it a shame? It's like, well, come and see you, but that's the rules, isn't it? That's the rules. Where are we? White shirts. Really? You had to wear white shirts. Now, we had which I didn't even know, because I didn't really know what the rules and regs were. It's only now afterwards. Oh, really? Well, it was a marking talk. I didn't understand that there were such things, but they had one after I left. And it was about not wearing white suits, because one of the young guys, and he was young, so he'd done a little bit of straying, fair enough. And then he came back and he was really trying hard, and he bought himself a suit. He was young. He bought himself his white suit. Marking talk about having a white suit. Can you imagine? And then there was that Gary Bro. Was it the two witness talk that he gave in his white jacket? He looked like such a pimp. Where are we going? So I'm catching up with your things here. My brother snuck on track and field team in high school. Oh, yeah. Oh, he had to throw the letter away. So mum and dad wouldn't. Man, that breaks my heart. Sorry, all these stories. I think it must have ramped up the shunning rollicks. As I'm not, yeah. She's completely shunned. They have ramped it up. I mean, did you see the 2016, particularly, they ramped it up? And I think, was that when his family stopped talking to him, because he wasn't baptized. And that's when they wouldn't talk to him, I'm worldly, I'm sure that was his story. Horrible. Absolutely, it's bloody evil. Yeah. I'm just thinking of Tony Morris, he went in, but his family weren't in, and shunning wasn't so strict. So I'm presuming he went in and had relations with his family who wouldn't get baptized. Bloody regulated, please keep up the field trips. It's Penrith. Nice around there. It's a bit similar to here, I think. Max Boyce. Oh, yeah, the big giant leaks and things. I remember the building. Building Penrith? Have they sold it yet, though? Is it still there? The video did with Sly Stallone and Aunt Flo. What was that one? And he got stopped. I'm taking my Shantan cream for UK protest. Oh dear. Take your best makeup as well, Steve. I'm going that black suits. White socks. Oh, one of those. And I was surprised in some of the hall crashes, how many of the brothers were wearing these dark glasses. It was like, we're security. That don't you think that was weird? Couldn't have a sports coat with pants. Had to be a matching suit. Oh, I mean, this is such fun. This is control, and who's complying. Wow. Yeah. We have got summer. It's the first time in a number of years. Prince came to a convention of the Cow Palace. I've been past the Cow Palace, but not in. I just love the name. It's such a great name, that. So my brother first, when he emigrated, he lived in outside San Francisco. Entire entourage and a purple velvet suit. Yeah, I mean, this whole one rule for people like him and one rule for everyone else. It's not fair. You know, it really isn't fair. I've never talked about all I went through in various committees. You had various ones before the elders. Well, because when you're sort of incognito as well. So, you know, there's people that will understand and listen, you know. Nobody's understood. I haven't got any. I'm not having anything. I've not got, because I did think, oh, if I brought some into it to tempt the things, but no, I haven't got anything in the house. The shunning make you want to come back. Well, some do, don't they, for their families? But it's not the right reason. It's not a proper coming back, but it looks good, doesn't it? It looks good. Matching suit. No, what's a leisure suit? What is a leisure suit? I don't see. It's different terminology. Is that like a sort of a beige one or something? No white shirt, no talk. That's the one way of getting out of it. Daktari suits. Now I've got you. I should have one of those for the hunting. Here, go with my pith helmet. Don't you think? Yeah, but he was a Jedi, and there's still, you know, it's still not decided about his where his money's going. What? How could he die without setting where his money's going? And the Daily Mail initially was reporting Watchtower after it. He got kicked out of Memorial this year for. Oh yeah. But Stephen, you had video recording glasses, didn't you? Be honest. I remember that. I watched it because you, because you and Mark had teamed up, and they were like, "You got recording glasses." White and yeah, the thing that it's not universal. One thing you can have, you know, your beard fractions. Others, no, nothing. And what is this beard thing? What, I mean, I know everyone goes on about the beard thing, but it is silly. And then of course, when you see the videos that they do, and everyone's with their bloody really bad false beards. It's like, Jehovah's do love the celebrities. It's true. But also, I think I remember the sort of Michael Jackson days. I think he'd already gone though then, because it was after Thriller and all that, or it was during all the Thriller stuff. So and then it became, but he can't be one because of the Thriller thing. Seventh Day Adventist. I just looked up on him. Then go hunting. Oh wow, Mr. Webb. Polyester. There's a lot of. I had those 70s night dresses, and in the dark when you get into bed, there would be sparks flying off them. Do you remember that? Any of you have that? Pockets on the outside. They did. They were horrible. I'm sorry. What that was about, I do not know. And some of them had like little shorty sleeves, didn't they? They didn't have full sleeves. They'd be like, you know, up above the elbow. I couldn't see where he was walking by. I've got to tell you that. Oh, yes, that's why you got thrown. Not the glass. It was because they were recording glasses. No, someone else did the beard fraction thing. I don't know who started that. It was quite a while back. Yeah, it was there. Let's not be like. And there was a thing. If you look at pictures or films of the pastors in Russell's day, they were expected to have this statesman-like beard thing going on. Something to tickle the ladies with, knowing him, of course. Yeah. You're not allowed to go off and do this. But if you have been one already, hey, come on in, and you can come and sing for us and play for us and do all the sorts of things. You did. Oh, you more than liked it. And it was prohibition. He had his supplies. He walked Jedi. The Jedi beards. Oh, yeah, the sparks. That was scary. That was scary going to bed. You didn't know if you just. They talk about, you know, spontaneous human combustion. Probably, maybe it was, you know, bad 90s. You couldn't say, meet me here if I know a scripture. Didn't get her. Clean shaven but an alky. polyester wrappings. Hard time wearing. Yeah, I was quite newly hatched out, as my phrase, I believe. I was quite newly hatched, and a dear neighbour died, and I mean now at funerals, especially some funerals, they say do wear bright clothes. You know, they have things, but it was still dark clothes. And someone turned up at the funeral, a woman wearing trousers, and I was like, oh, isn't that terrible? Isn't that terrible? Yeah, the conditioning. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can already be one. Lisa says. Tasked. Playing suggestively with large apples. And they also didn't they have a special viewing night for that at Bethel? Some point in the 60s, he was a young brother, took the film, and then as an older brother, he then had the big viewing night. That wasn't the big viewing night. You know that story, which is true, when they sat down and it was Fantasia. Showing Bethel Fantasia, which is magic, and you know you got the sorcerer's apprentice, like, which would be like showing Harry Potter. Large apples. Yes, the View My Apples night. Do you know I did? Oh, I'm really embarrassed. I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Bethel because I hadn't been brought up in it. So you have this different enthusiasm and this different understanding, and I thought, oh, I really wanted to go and serve, and my body was all crappy, so I wasn't going to be able to, and it was a real blow, But of course, I didn't want to say only it's an important job, but as a woman, I mean, you'd just be, sort of changing pillowcases all day. I mean, that's what you'd be doing. Oh, someone put one of those new blue knickers in my satchel. Is there such thing? I didn't know there was such thing as a knicker pincher. Well, I did have some. When I worked up here as a kid, I had my knickers pinched off the line. They're too big for you. It's terrible, isn't it? They might, if you've got blue eyes, blue knickers are good if you've got blue eyes. Oh, shed down the bottom of the garden. I didn't think you needed a shed. I think it was all there. Unassigned, really? Indian reservations in Canada. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. What is it? Greek to the Greek, Roman to the Romans. So goat bone, that does make sense that you should wear what is. But they do think it's the 1950s. And that's another thing they have in common with Scientology, everything. There's still the 1970s. Now, my grandmother, who was born 1908, watching a film, she always knew who the baddie was because he had a beard. Do you see what I mean? But things have changed. The royal family, mind you, used to always have beards in them days. Well, I thought that they used to didn't they bring the alcohol in from Canada for him? I thought that was it. It was kind of well known, however they got it to him. He said, "Are they my knickers?" Elder said, "No, I got them online." Oh, hey, Stephen's on form. He's on form tonight, I have to say. Oh, your grandmother born 19. It was a good year. Good year. They bred him well. The changes that you'd see from that. Yeah. I did a stupid video somewhere where I put in pictures of the Great Depression. You had the Dust Bowl happening. I remember as a kid reading Steinbeck, and you're like, oh my, what an absolute, there's starving. And yeah, floating about. And of course, Julian, Channel, Julian, his auntie, she was a young lady at the time, and this is what he's publicly said, so I'm not saying any family secret, he's publicly mentioned it a few times, was Rutherford's mistress, or one of his mistresses. She was a young, pretty lass with the old, it looks like W.C. Fields, doesn't it? Yeah, 1901. What an absolute Shah. Yeah. Of My Cement, yeah, that was the first one. But if you read like Grapes of Wrath, shocking ending. Absolute. That's the one where the whole family is moving out of the Dust Bowl and is starving. And then they're working in the places, and you only got paid like in some token things you had to then spend at the shop. That, what was that called? Oh. Why no white shirt? Why? W.C. Fields. Yeah. At because they did a film of that, and that seemed like ancient history when I was a kid, but it wasn't. You know, it was not. But no prohibition, coloured shirts. Yeah. But that ending, it was shocking at the time, and I had it in a big compendium of his novels, and I thought there's going to be another page, and that was the end. I thought, it can't be the end, it can't be the end. But if there's a Maupassant story, he did fantastic short stories he was known for, and he had the same thing happen. When was he writing it? It was earlier, so I don't know if Steinbeck had seen it or it was just coincidence, but it was the same scenario. They're on a train and this son, poor man, he's starving to death, so she does the same thing to keep him alive. Oh, the miracle wheat. I mean, what? I wouldn't allow visiting elders. That miracle wheat, come on. It's shocking, isn't it? What a thing. And people say, oh, some people do stick up for us on this, say it would have been a different organisation, fair enough, if it had carried on to his wishes. But he did support shunning, you know. He didn't get away with it with a whole lot, but do you know that Russell's father married, was it Maria, the wife? So Russell's dad married Maria's younger sister. So Maria's younger sister became her stepmother or stepmother-in-law or something like that. So Russell's dad was a bit of an eye for the ladies because she'd have been a lot younger than him. And then when Maria and Russell, obviously that was very acrimonious, as you'll know, he sort of ordered his father, who was still alive then, father and the sister wife, stepmother, not to speak to Maria. He decided no, they weren't allowed, but I think they still did. But that's I left my Kobe wad, a male fashion model, who wore some outrageous suits, and started a whole striped socks trend too. Rustling wheat, yeah. I'm allergic to it. You got a lucky escape then. Rustling wheat. But characters, I mean, you have got narcissism, the real stuff, the narcissist personality disorder surely running through. Notice the sun is down now. Birds are different noises as they're getting. Not to believe any of bollocks. Well, did she do the wheat before? The wheat was a very early thing, wasn't it? And it was him who came up with the idea. In the early days, the Cole Porters, as they were known, of course, they used to sell the magazines or whatever, the tracts, I guess they'd call them, and then pass the money on, back to Watchtower. But he had then the great money idea that the poor Cole Porters, doing this because Armageddon was going to come within, seconds. That's when it started. They had to buy the literature and then sell it on. You look up the records. So that was this huge, great business, much better business model for him, not for the people doing it. Thrush singing Blackbird. They're shut up. Quiet now, I'm quiet. So there are a pair of swans here. But now the River Tweed is known for swans, and by Berwick itself you have a lot of swans mate for life. So you have a lot of widowed swans, and you have the bachelor swans. They all kind of live there. So it's kind of like a reject. It's like in a party, it's like the kitchen area for parties where sad people like me. Well, they now, producing, Liam, don't have a relationship with the police. And animals. Didn't they mention about animals as well? I'm sure the animal thing came up. And the lap dancing. Oh, can you hear there's a motorbike? What the hell's that about? Better not run over my little scooter. Is it a motorbike? Or it might be a farm. They have like these farm quad bike things. No, it is actually. Oh dear. If I keep talking to myself, I think I'm mad anyway. go away. Yeah, then they had to, and of course, you get the stories that the people they were selling them to, the target audience were very poor, so they would get eggs or coal, and they lived in very poor conditions. A lion. At least this keeps her, folks. I go there so you don't have to sneaking up on you. It is wind. One is the Jehovah's. No, it's someone's in their motorbike leathers and bits, so a motorbike. Stephen! Da-da-da-da-da. Boing! You're gonna have to do some stand-up. Like you and Neil. Neil wrote that is J-Dub stand-up things which were funny. Chickens. And he's going off. Then there's a big sort of deep area. You go down the river, and so the kids come in the really hot weather and they dive off into it. It gets a bit Lord of the Flies down there sometimes. Oh yes, sorry, chickens. Well, I'm thinking chickens. Yeah. Well, they were lucky if they get a chicken, because obviously, Geordie Duns would wear miniskirts. It's that one. So it's getting cooler. So I might fire up the Aposta scooter. Get back, have some grub, but I might just turn on again as I'm crossing the border, because I know the excitement is going to be so much for you. I do like to keep the excitement levels up, so I might just turn it up and show you as crossing the border, and you can see my American sister-in-law. I went to pick them up Edinburgh Airport, so we're coming down through England. Started winding her up, saying, "Have you got your passport ready?" Why? Well, you've got to go through border control, and it's really bad. So just keep your head down. We'll do the talking, and so that they let you through. And she gets a passport. And of course, we just drove down the road, and they were just, you were having fun with me. So she knows now. Overboard. Yeah. Well, you don't even hear the kingfisher, but. Pasta helmet. Oh, bye, Stephanie. Bye. So, yeah, who's gone? It's just a kid having a run down. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go. It's getting a bit chill. I've tested your patient enough. Oh, God. So, chuck another. No. That is, man. Hell. But what does interest me, because I'm neither left nor right with the things, is that was happening before. Maybe it was happening on a lesser scale. I find it interesting that things that were happening previously, when they're happening now, they're being brought out because look what Trump's doing. So it's great because it's raising awareness. Like all this stuff went on before, and now people are like, oh, does that happen? Because they can blame it on him, but it was. I think it's good. Thanks for making movies. First visit, Newcastle Brand Stadium. Oh yeah, go west to make it. Or we sort of fly over there, we go, because I've not been for 4 years now. Last time I was over, it was all accomplished behind my back. So I went to New York first. It was all arranged for me. I was spoiled, and it was the World Cup, which is on now, so exactly the 4 years. And I thought, great, your Americans won't bother with it. Every bar was packed. I was just around from Carnegie Hall. Every bar was packed every night because everyone was watching the blooming football or soccer, whatever you call it. Old speckled hen. Beamish. Well, I've got me now living in America brother. He's over soon, coming to stay. Oh, hello, Cuckoo for the Truth. Nice to see you there. I don't know if I've got bell pressed on your, what do you call it, your channel to see, Thickstons. Now, he likes all the craft beers because, yeah, you can get the real, so I have to get some in for him. So, yeah, I'm going to move. I shall leave the door knocker of enticement for them. So, okay, I'm going to leave a door knocker for you. The panda, he wants to graze for a while, look for some bamboo, so you can come and pet him if you want. I don't know if they can hear me, but it's worth it, you know, because they could be hiding. And I'll just do I've got battery thing. I can't see from looking at the screen what I've got left. I'll just do as I go over the border because the excitement is just too much. The wild and heady life, eh? But I wish you could be here. We'd have a picnic. When I've had people visit, or even different local mates who don't know this because it's the end of a dead end. We'd come down at night, candles, and we had streaming. Okay.